Welcome to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you burn fat, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey everybody, it's Debbie Potts, and I am back after taking the last couple months off of recording new episodes, especially episodes with just myself on my Wellness Wednesdays and Fitness Fridays episodes, where I will start to have some guests on those shows. But I want to take this time to also explain what I've been doing the last month or so and the new journey I started. So today I just thought I'd start with sharing my story, and you might have heard some of this already if you read my blogs or my many new ebooks on my website, debbiepotts.net, or follow me on Instagram, The Low Carb Athlete, and Facebook, Low Carb Athlete. I have not been using Facebook as I got sick of all the political stuff and constant stress reading it, as well as the news. So I haven't been paying attention to the main pages of Facebook or the local news. Actually, I was just watching BBC, but anyways, I digress. I have started a new journey, and I want to share that journey with you because I think a lot of you have similar stories to myself and similar struggles and areas of opportunity of living life as a race. And we love to do a lot of different things, and we often get caught doing too much in life and not always pay attention to the red flags when we need to slow down, when we need to take a day off, when we need to just stop, reset, and reboot our own systems, just as we would do to our own computer. And so I'm actually recording this in my new Airbnb rental, where I will be until August or maybe September until we find a new home. And the best spot I found to record, I think you can hear the difference of the quality in recording compared to my house that I'm not in anymore. It had new wood floors, and it made the recording sound horrible and very echoey. Now I'm in my closet. In our bedroom, we have this weird house. You can look at the pictures on my Instagram, but it's on top of a 4-car garage out in the country, and north of Escondido and inland from Carlsbad, kind of in between Vistas, San Marcos, and Valley Center. And it's a new journey. So I want to share some things. I was writing some notes today, and just, the transformation of these life changes that we go through is, I think helpful for you as well in your own life. It might, obviously different situations, but I think it's, if you raced a lot as I have in triathlons, or maybe, whatever sport you do, doesn't matter what sport, that we do so much. And it's amazing, since this pandemic started in March 2020, it's really forces us all to stop, slow down, and assess your life. Hopefully. Maybe it didn't for you, but it did for me. And, this journey I've been on started before the COVID pandemic began in March. I closed my Fitness Forward Studio, October 1st in 2019. And I must admit, that was my big stressor in my life. If you read my book, Life is Not a Race, it's on Amazon. I started having adrenal fatigue, adrenal exhaustion. Technically, it's the HPA axis dysfunction and mitochondria dysfunction and everything, metabolic chaos. It's not just one thing. But I started having a lot of health issues, struggles, fatigue, weight gain, depression, mood swings, food sensitivities, insulin resistance, the list goes on. And that started in 2013. And a lot of it is because I was doing too many races, doing too much in a day, and living life as a race from the time I woke up until I went to bed. And I look back at my life back then, compared to right now. And, for you too, and having COVID, pandemic, staying at home, working at home, your life might have changed as well, because I had stopped getting up in the morning and training at the club and lifting weights and going to master swimming and my busy, crazy schedule training clients. But back when I started getting health issues in 2013 and, really noticing obvious signs of burnout and dysfunction in my body that I could no longer ignore, that it was not just running too many races, but it's also the stress, the chronic stress of running my own business. Is very high rent. I opened my studio 2010. There wasn't a lot of fitness small franchises out then. And then just, the past 5 years, it was just constant stress doing group training and personal training and trying to always stay ahead of the curve, ahead of the trends. And it was just too much for me. I obviously don't handle stress well. And other people can, be resilient and work through it and be successful in their business. But to me, it was just too much. And so I was very happy to have the building I was renting space in to close us down, because they were tearing down the building in Bellevue, Washington, where most of all the old buildings are being torn down and huge high rises being built up. And, this was just what I want to talk to you about, just gifts in horrible situations, gifts that we get from COVID pandemic, gifts from, having your building come down, where your business, and being forced to close. And maybe, COVID, you're a small business owner and you were forced to close, but maybe that was for a good thing, because it's so much work owning your own business. And people don't realize, especially in fitness, that you're training your clients, you're leading the group classes, but you're also managing everything, doing the marketing, doing the bookkeeping, doing the programming, looking ahead, working on getting new people, working on taking care of your clients that you have. Is, they're important to your business. And I was done with it. And so closing my studio was what I'm calling phase 1 of this new journey. So phase 1 started October 1st. I closed the studio. I just flew to Hawaii October 5th. I stayed for 2 weeks by myself. My husband came out for a few days for Ironman Hawaii, but I stayed, and I actually studied for my functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner finals, FDN, where we had a ton of case studies to do. So I spent 2 weeks just studying, working on my finals, and just really getting through this crazy time in my life. So closing the studio was a huge emotional roller coaster for me. Even though I knew I needed to close my business for 5 years, I could never just do it. I felt like a failure if I closed my business. So finally, when they were giving us notice that we had to move out because of the building being torn down, it was a blessing in disguise, because I was struggling and I could not keep going. And so going to Hawaii is a great place for me to heal myself and rebuild and reflect on life. And really, I've found over the years, as I focused on doing more health coaching, that's where I thrive. I thrive teaching groups. I thrive teaching my clients I've had forever and making them feel better. But I also need to really help people learn how to feel better, how to look better, how to move better. And training clients was just never the only answer. So years ago, I created the holistic method. I created, 21-day detox program and fat loss programs and burning fat programs, and really found that, as I talk about on this podcast all the time, to be healthy, to optimize your health, to be a fat burner, and to improve your athletic performance is just not about only what you eat. It's so much to do with different factors, as I call the holistic method. So we need to work on our exercise and nutrition, but also these other factors of stress that we'll talk about all the time here. Chronic stress that's external, about, but these hidden internal stressors that you don't have any idea about unless you run functional labs, and they'll help uncover clues to your dysfunction, to imbalances of your hormone system, your immune system, your detoxification, your digestion, your energy systems, and your nervous systems. A lot of that we don't know unless we do labs. So I really found my own personal journey with rebuilding my own health is what I wanted to do to help other people that are similar to me. That, what I came out with saying and wrote a new PDF you can get on my website saying, do you want your body back? Do you want your vibrant self back? And that's what I wanted. I wanted to wake up, feel great when I got out of bed, and look in the mirror and go, yeah, I like what I look like today. I don't want to look in the mirror and look at my legs and look at myself and just complain. I want to be happy and I want to be energetic and, have that vitality that we strive for. So I've been just wanting to help other people figure out how to feel that way as I've been working on myself over the years. And so closing down my fitness studio, having this COVID pandemic was just the first part in being able to make these huge life changes. So one is closing my studio. Phase 2, I call it my blog I just wrote, is, becoming a health coach and being forced to work at home starting in, middle March when all this happened. I was no longer able to get to train my clients in person. My personal training clients I've had for 20 years. I couldn't go run with my client, Joe, that we ran with twice a week. I couldn't go to train my client's house at night that I've trained for 20 years. And all that was a good thing and a bad thing because I love training clients and I love the relationships. They're my family. They're all at my wedding. They're part of my life and part of my own journey. But it wasn't allowing me to focus on what I love right now is health coaching and being a health rebuilding coach and help restoring vitality and helping you learn how to push that reset and reboot button because no one else could help me. So until I've learned all this information over the years, I've created my own coaching style and, putting all of this together in one package to help people. But I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for closing my studio, if it wasn't for the COVID pandemic when I suddenly was no longer able to work. I was pretty much unemployed. And so the few clients I did coach online, I continued that. I got my other clients to start doing personal training online or let me work with them once a week and write their training schedule, working with other people on matching their nutrition to their exercise so they're metabolically efficient and burning fat, teaching families how to be fat adapted and, break the sugar habits. And, it's so fun to work with the whole family that's motivated to make these big, huge lifestyle changes. So, the COVID is horrible and it's just been a stress on all the entire world and all the people that have died, but, all the small businesses as well. But for me, it was an odd way. It was a gift to Neal, my husband, and I to force ourselves to figure out work. And he happened to be looking for a new job that he got and was all online. It was remote. And it's a company based out of New Zealand, a food company, because he's in the food industry and he's in charge of U.S. Retail sales. So, hey, we're both on working online. We don't have any ties to Bellevue, Washington anymore. First time in my entire life, I can get up and move. So we talked to a realtor friend that actually sold us our house in 2006 in October of 2006 because we just got married in 2007. So we got a house and remodeled it. And we were only going to live there a few years, but suddenly it's been, longer than that. Suddenly it's 2020. And he said, if you want to get it on the market, let's do it. So on a Wednesday afternoon, we decided put it on the market the following Wednesday. And we were taking pictures on the Monday. And wow, it was a crazy 2 weeks. We sold our house 2 weeks later after deciding to sell it. Fortunately, I'm organized. We like to plan. We had, 4 days to get the house staged and ready for photos on the Monday and videos. And we packed a ton of stuff because Neal was in between starting his new job. So we both had time. 4 days, boom, we got so much done and packed in the garage, almost too much because I still had, however long until we sold the house and we're moving. So we just started, doing all that. Every weekend we started just packing up, and we sold our house and closed on June 19th. The following week, we flew to San Diego. Our cards got shipped here, filled them up. They got shipped on the 19th, and we flew out that night and been staying in the Del Mar Hilton for a week, and we just moved into our Airbnb. on the June 26th. So I'm here until October 4th and looking for a house. So crazy how things work, right? It's just like, okay, everything happens for a reason. So when something's horrible as COVID, what do you learn from that? One, we need to be healthier, because most people that have the worst symptoms and health issues from COVID that are hospitalized seem to have already compromised immune system, and people that are obese, insulin resistance. And then people low in vitamin D and different nutrients, find, vitamin D and zinc, vitamin C, it's good for treatment. And I'm not going to get into that because I'm not an expert in any of it, but listen to my past podcasts with Dr. Walls. We did 2 amazing episodes, as well as some other naturopath doctors I talked to the last few months, and Dr. Ben Lynch and Dr. Sarah Myhill. So I've got tons of good resources with people talking about how to improve your immune system. And I actually wrote about 100-page ebook for you on the Immune System 101, talking about definitions of how the innate and the adaptive immune system work, as well as how the microbiome works, and how do we improve our immune system? How do we gain resiliency? And what even does that mean, right? So, I just think it's a good learning lesson for us that we need to stop, pause, and slow down. We need to spend more time with our family. We need to unplug and get off social media and the news, which people are more, so that didn't really work. But perhaps it made you get outside and walk. Like, we never have walked around our neighborhoods. I'm not, we walk when we travel to Europe or whatnot, but, being stuck at home all day, we worked at home, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner was defined in our house as go for a walk. We got out noon. That means walk break. 5 o'clock, office closed. That means walk break. It doesn't mean eat. It means walk. And I try to coach my clients that too. Take as much time as you can outside. Get movement, get mobility. We started yoga. I haven't done yoga for years, and I taught yoga 5 days a week. I love yoga and Pilates, and I never had time for it because it just made me too busy. So the schedule I had as of 2013 to what I'm doing now, whoa, I'm doing like half the amount of busyness and exercise that I did back then, as I used to get up at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, get to work at 5 in the morning. I go to yoga at 5:30 at night, or I taught clients till 7, or I taught run group on Wednesday nights till 6:30, 7 o'clock. So every night I get home at 7:30 at night. And then I get up and leave at 4:30 in the morning. That is why I had so many health issues starting in 2013. Jeez, that's not the way she would live life. So, I wrote my book, Life is Not a Race, in 2015 to help other people understand my story, my why, my purpose, because I feel a lot of you can relate to my craziness, relate to my addicted to busyness, and also connect with how you feel like a failure if you're not doing something. How do you feel like you're a loser, you're not motivated, you're lazy if you're not always doing something. And I love in yoga, I've been doing Travis Elliott, who has this program called Inner Dimensions that we started doing, power yoga and their yin yoga. And yin yoga, by the way, is amazing to do in the evening to help you wind down. But just talking about, we're human beings, not human doers. And I always love that. And I think we need to stop and realize we need to enjoy life a little more, slow down and not push through the day. Ability to thrive and not survive the day, or, live until, get through the week until it's Friday again. We should enjoy each day. So back to my story. I call it phase 4. We talked for years about moving somewhere year round, better weather, because we like to bike and run. And obviously I like swim, bike, run, but I don't like calling myself a triathlete because I haven't been racing, but I train as triathlon. So I'm an athlete, whatever you want to call it. And I like to lift weights, and I like to be outside, and I love working outside and sitting outside and working on my computer in the shade or under cover outdoor office is my favorite. And I love walking on the ocean, or on the beach by the ocean. And so we decided to move to San Diego, Southern California. We used to come here all the time for my mastermind retreats. A lot of conferences are here. I did many long weekends, even just one in January before we even knew we're coming back here to live for good. Solana Beach, favorite. Carlsbad Marathon. For 15 different years, I brought people here on a race weekend and did a 4-month training program for it, which I'll run again this year if you want to join me in January, Martin Luther King long weekend. But now, all the pieces fell into place. We are able to move and follow a dream and make it real. So, I've lived in Bellevue, Washington since 1983 when I moved from Vancouver, Canada. Yes, I'm Canadian. And I've lived in the same area in Bellevue, Victoria, since we sold our house this past month. So we're excited to move on to this next stage. Selling our house so quickly, just everything moved along, and just staying in Del Mar Hilton last week, it felt like we're on vacation. We just worked there every day. We didn't have our cars until the Thursday, so we walked everywhere, and we were just on vacation. No big deal. And then this is my second day here at the new Airbnb rental, and working from here. It could be anywhere. It felt like, hey, this is the same as I was doing back at home. I wasn't going anywhere except for a bike or a run or walk, and it's new. It's different. I still don't feel like this is forever. We're looking for a house, the right house, but that's my other questions for you. So we moved here. We're living in the mountains, half an hour inland from the ocean. We're staying at Airbnb for 3 months. We don't know where we're going to live. All of our stuff is in a rental unit in Seattle. We've got so much stuff here, actually. I realize how much stuff you don't need when you pack it. And you go, I don't even need this. I can't imagine all that stuff in the storage unit when we get it, 6 months from now. I probably don't want any of it. Simplify. I don't like clutter. I realize that stresses me out. Stuff all over the counters stresses me out. I found I really like it clean and get rid of stuff you don't need. Simplify. And so my question is, how much do you really know about yourself? Can you live in an 800 square foot space, a 1-bedroom apartment, with just your spouse or your friend or yourself? We're living on top of a 4-car garage in this big estate. We have 10 acres. We're surrounded by rolling hills. Kind of looks like Tuscany, Sonoma, or Healdsburg if you've been up there. It's beautiful. But it's a total new journey. Our first weekend, we got here Friday night, 3 o'clock, checked in, unloaded stuff, and then headed off. We went into Escondido, and I thought, I can't stay here. This is it. I was crying. I was like, there's no way I'm here for 3 months. This is out in the middle of boondocks. We have to drive a half an hour anywhere. We're out in the mountains. I started looking for Airbnbs and getting upset. My husband that we can't stay here. I won't survive. I don't like it. I need to be near the ocean. This is too far away. Well, we went that night, and we're with our face masks on, able to go to Home Goods and TJ Maxx and Costco. Saturday we went there, and we went for our first bike ride on Saturday and from Kit Carson Park in Escondido, and we were able to do all this stuff. And I didn't like Escondido. It was where we went, was kind of the older, not so good part, so we didn't know. And then riding, you don't really know where you're going, so we're doing Map My Ride routes, and they'll tell you turn left or turn right, but we were following trails and then getting off course. And so everything's just kind of new, and you just have to be patient and make the best of it and try to, find the joy in everything. But it's totally different. I mean, we just left everything and our friends, and I hope everyone will come visit us once we find a house. But right now it's this transition period, and I've been doing pretty good. But last weekend I wasn't. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to stay here. And I hate queen size beds. I'm tall and I'm used to king size beds. I never can sleep right. So the past few nights I've been sleeping horribly, and just it's stressful, right? So I have to practice what I preach, take time out. We went for that bike ride on the Saturday. It was horrible because you can't work out when you're stressed out and you hadn't had any deep quality restorative sleep. I now am aware of my red flags, and I can feel it, that we cut the bike short. I was dragging. I had no energy, and it wasn't really muscle fatigue. It was just stress. And body lack of recovery and nothing was working. And so your body's saying, this is stupid. You shouldn't be on your bike, even though you're in this new beautiful countryside with wineries and olive groves and orchards around. It is not what you should be doing. So, we cut it short on the Saturday ride. Sunday, we drove to the coast and I went back to my happy place. I realized, okay, Carlsbad, Escondido. We're actually Escondido, Solana Beach. This is where I'm happy. This is where I'm smiling. It brings me joy to be in the ocean. So we went running, Moonlight Beach, and I saw some swimmers, Escondido. If anyone lives down there, I need to find those open water swims. I'll need some lessons how to get through the waves, but, found possibly new groups I can find to meet and train with. And then running up towards Carlsbad was awesome. We just had this amazing day. I went to the farmer's market, and we went to the grocery store to get food to go, and it's this healthy grocery store, and Lazy Acres, that's what it's called. And then we walked back to the beach, and we sat on the beach for a couple hours and ate our lunch and had a little nap, and we drove towards back our rental. And I thought, okay, this is where I want to be. I want to live closer to the beach. So my question is, do you want to live in the mountains or do you want to live near the ocean? Big question. Do you want to wake up in the morning like we did today, got up and we rode, even though we have this steep driveway that was 3-minute uphill to get to the main road, and we're on this rolling hills, just this beautiful bike roads that you can go on, not the biggest shoulders, but a lot of cyclists around, and the scenery was unbelievable. And go, okay, this is amazing to have this out your door. But then you go back to the beach and you go, oh my gosh, the ocean is so healing. It's so magical. I love the vibe. I love everyone around. And then you come back here in the mountains. You're like, oh, this is great. So what do you do? How do you get both? So I think we'll explore our feelings the next few weeks. This is only day 4 being here. And I'll share my blog post I wrote, Life is a Journey with the Potts. I'll try to blog more. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting my pictures there and then sharing them to Facebook. But, it's a lot of life decisions. Where do you want to live? Say it's your 5-10 year plan. Do you want to be able to ride out your door without traffic, without streetlights? Or do you want to walk out your door and be able to drive 20 minutes to the beach? I can't afford to live by the beach, but even that, you're having to bike on the Pacific Coast Highway with streetlights every mile. So, are you a mountain person? Are you an ocean person? Why can't we have both? So I want to live in the middle, but I still don't want to have to bike out of my house and have a lot of traffic and cars and be in the city. So you kind of learn. Do you want to be in a big town? Like Escondido had way too much. And I realized, I like little town like Escondido, and being out here, I kind of is growing on me. It's weird. 4 days ago, I hated it. So let's see what happens. I will share my feelings in my kind of blog journal for you. But I just wanted to catch up today and talk about what I've been doing. I would like to restart Wednesdays. If you are interested listening to me jabber for half an hour about health building, rebuilding the whole you from the inside out, but also talking about my journey, because it is about stress and reducing stress and finding quality of life. And a lot of people tell us, oh, why are you moving to California? The politics are horrible, and the governor, and the taxes and everything. And to us, it's not forever. We'll probably retire and move to Arizona where it's cheaper. But for now, it's the quality of life, and to be able to be outside and to work outside and to go to farmers market and find these amazing people selling healthy tonics and herbal teas and bone broth and fresh produce and microgreens. It's pretty awesome. And to eat off the land, avocado trees over here and lemon trees here. And that's what I would look at, the quality of life. How do you want to be living your life? Do you want to follow your passion, your purpose, and your mission? And do you want to enjoy each day living life to the fullest that you can? So let me know your thoughts. Maybe you live around here, know someone's around here that wants to meet up. I know some of you that listen live nearby. I am out in, where am I? I have to look at the map, but it's half an hour inland and like 20 minutes north of Escondido, and Carlsbad, Escondido are about half an hour away. So we'll probably end up in San Marcos, but who knows? I could end up totally out in the woods again. So let me know your thoughts, and I'd love to hear from you. DebbiePotts.net. I have a new ebook and the new Immune book coming out, and I just put one on metabolic efficiency. So there's lots of free stuff on my website. Just sign up, you'll get the book, and I love to hear from you. You can schedule a new link on there to schedule a discovery call with me to talk about what your goals are, health issues, concerns that you have. So check out DebbiePotts.net. Lots going on, lots of updates. All right, guys, I love connecting with you again, even though I'm not really talking to you, but I feel like I am. So I'm standing here in my closet by a window, though, and looking out to the mountains. So life is great. Talk to you soon. Enjoy your day, and make sure you are thriving and not surviving the day.
Thanks for listening to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at DebbiePotts.net. You can help us to continue to grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.